Class Nomi, a performance artist, captivated audiences in New York's art scene with his striking falsetto voice and futuristic fashion. His performances blended opera, pop, and performance art into a unique style that caught the attention of many. However, his career was tragically cut short after he was diagnosed with HIV in 1983. And he passed away at just 39 in 1984. Nomi was one of the first celebrities to die from AIDS, and his death remains a somber reminder of the early battles against the disease during a time of great fear and uncertainty. Libris, known for his extravagant performances, dazzling costumes, and larger-than-life persona, was one of the most iconic entertainers of the 20th century. Despite his public success, Libris led a private life marked by denial of his sexuality, keeping his personal struggles hidden. In 1986, after a decline in his health, he was diagnosed with HIV. Although he continued performing until his death in 1987, his passing from AIDS-related pneumonia shocked many, as the world had not yet been fully aware of the challenges he faced. Despite his struggle, Libris's musical and artistic contributions continue to inspire. Ian Charleson, remembered for his role in Chariots of Fire, captivated audiences with his talent and dedication. Born in Scotland, Charleson made his mark in both theater and film, earning critical acclaim for his performances. However, in the 1980s, he was diagnosed with HIV. Despite his illness, he continued to perform, including a memorable role in Hamlet. His private battle with AIDS remained largely hidden until his death in 1990. At the age of 40, his legacy lives on, not just through his work, but also through the courage he displayed in the face of adversity. Paul Shenar, known for his role in Scarface, was a respected actor who also kept his personal life private, despite being openly gay with close friends. After a successful career in theater and film, Shenar was diagnosed with HIV in the late 1980s. He continued to act, even while dealing with the effects of the disease, showing immense dedication to his craft. Paul Shenar passed away in 1989 at the age of 53, leaving behind a legacy of compelling performances and contributions to the arts. Anthony Perkins, best known for his role as Norman Bates in Psycho, was an iconic figure in Hollywood. His career took off with an Oscar nomination and his legendary portrayal of the disturbed Bates. However, Perkins struggled privately with his sexuality and the stigma surrounding it during an era when being openly gay or bisexual could derail a career. In the late 1980s, Perkins was diagnosed with HIV and kept his condition a secret. He passed away in 1992 at the age of 60 from AIDS-related pneumonia, a loss that highlighted the personal struggles many stars faced in silence. Sylvester, an iconic figure in the disco era, used his music to inspire self-expression and acceptance with hits like You Make Me Feel and Meaty Real and Dance Disco Heat. He became a symbol of the Leg2 community in the 1980s. He was diagnosed with HIV, but rather than retreat, he became one of the first public figures to speak out about the disease. Sylvester passed away from AIDS-related complications in 1988. At the age of 41, his music continues to inspire, and his courage in addressing the AIDS epidemic remains a crucial part of his legacy. Merritt Butrick, an actor known for his roles in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, was a rising star in the 1980s. He had a promising career and was beloved for his warm personality. However, in the mid-1980s, Butrick began to experience health issues, and in 1989, he passed away at the age of 29 from AIDS-related complications. His death shocked fans and colleagues, and his short life continues to be remembered as a tragic loss to the film industry. Lauro Corona, a Brazilian actor known for his roles in popular telenovelas, rose to fame in the 1980s. He was admired for his charm and professionalism, but in the late 1980s, he was diagnosed with HIV. He kept his condition private to avoid public knowledge, but in 1989, he passed away at the age of 32 from AIDS-related complications. His death marked a significant loss to Brazilian entertainment, and his legacy continues to live on through his roles and his kind-hearted nature. John Holmes, a figure most famous for his work in the adult film industry, led a life filled with both fame and controversy. In the early 1980s, his career began to decline, and in 1986, he was diagnosed with HIV. Holmes continued to work despite his diagnosis, keeping it a secret. His death in 1988 from AIDS-related complications sparked public outrage, raising ethical questions about the adult film industry's responsibility during the AIDS crisis. Holmes's story is a reminder of the importance of personal responsibility and the profound impact of the epidemic. Ryan White, a young boy from Indiana, became a symbol of courage and resilience during the AIDS crisis. In 1984, at the age of 13, Ryan received a blood transfusion that was contaminated with HIV. His diagnosis led to widespread fear, and his school banned him from attending classes. Ryan's refusal to accept this discrimination brought national attention to the epidemic. He passed away in 1990 at the age of 18, just before the passing of the Ryan White Care Act, which provided support for those living with HIV/AIDS. His legacy endures as a symbol of strength and the fight for understanding. Rock Hudson, a major Hollywood star in the 1950s, was known for his roles in films like Magnificent Obsession and Pillow Talk. He maintained a public image of being a romantic leading man. Despite rumors about his sexuality in 1984, Hudson was diagnosed with HIV but kept his condition a secret. It wasn't until 1985, when his health had deteriorated, that he publicly disclosed his diagnosis. His courage in doing so helped change the public perception of AIDS. He passed away in 1985 at the age of 59, and his death became a pivotal moment in the fight against the stigma surrounding the disease. Denholm Elliott, best known for his role in Indiana Jones as Marcus Brody, had a long and successful career in film and television. In the late 1980s, Elliott was diagnosed with HIV. Despite his illness, he continued to work, demonstrating immense dedication to his craft. He passed away in 1992 at the age of 70, leaving behind a legacy of versatile performances. Elliott's death marked the loss of a beloved actor and highlighted the toll HIV/AIDS took on many artists during that time. Michael Kalin, a singer, songwriter, and activist, became one of the pioneers of the AIDS movement. Diagnosed with HIV in 1982, Kalin chose to publicly disclose his diagnosis, making him one of the first openly gay men to speak out about the disease. He continued to fight for awareness and reduce the stigma surrounding AIDS through his music and activism. Kalin passed away in 1993 at the age of 38, but his legacy as a passionate advocate for AIDS education and his contributions to the community live on. Leigh Bowery, a performance artist and fashion icon, was a key figure in the avant-garde art scene in the 1980s. Known for his bold style and boundary-pushing performances, Bowery's work challenged societal norms around gender and identity. Unfortunately, his life was cut short when he passed away from AIDS-related complications in 1994 at the age of 33. Bowery's influence on art, fashion, and culture continues to inspire artists and individuals who seek to challenge conventional boundaries. Robin Crosby, the lead guitarist of the band Rat, was known for his contributions to glam metal in the 1980s. Crosby struggled with heroin addiction for years, but in 1994, he was diagnosed with HIV. Despite the toll the disease took on his health, Crosby maintained a positive attitude and continued to inspire others with his candor. He passed away in 2002 at the age of 42, and his legacy in the music world remains strong, particularly in the rock and roll community. Bobby DeBarge, a member of the influential R&B group Switch, battled personal demons throughout his life, including drug addiction. In 1988, he was diagnosed with HIV, but kept his condition private, sharing it only with his loved ones. Despite the challenges he faced, DeBarge continued to pursue his passion for music until his death in 1995. At the age of 39, his contributions to the music industry, particularly in the R&B genre, continued to be celebrated by fans and musicians alike.